Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. Today I'll show you how to make vegan marble sugar cookies. My channel is called Lily and Peony. If you like this video, please don't forget to like and subscribe. I add vegan butter to my stand mixer bowl and mix this on high for about 1 minute. I scrape my bowl halfway to make sure everything is incorporated. Then I add in the sugar and continue mixing on high. I mix this together for 2 to 3 minutes until it's light and fluffy, and I also make sure I scrape the bowl halfway through just to make sure my sugar is all included in the mixture. After that, I add in some non-dairy milk, some cornstarch, and vanilla extract, and continue mixing. Next, I add in half of my flour, some baking powder and salt, and mix this on very slow speed just to incorporate the flour. Then I add the other half of the flour and again mix on very slow speed. You want to make sure you don't mix this dough too much, and also of course scrape the sides so that you can get all the flour incorporated. I started with 2 cups of flour, but I found my dough was still a little bit wet, so I added a few tablespoons of flour into my batter until I felt the consistency was right. Once my cookie dough was done, I got myself some parchment paper and sprinkled a little flour on it. I split the dough in half and rolled it out on the first parchment paper. I used some flour to make sure that it wouldn't stick too much. And my dough was about 1/4 of an inch thick. Once I was done with the first half of the dough, I got myself another parchment paper and started working on the second half of the dough. I did exactly the same thing as the first one, flatten it out and sprinkle some flour whenever I needed to. Once I was done, I placed the first one back on top of my second half and then put another parchment paper on it so that I can put it in the fridge for at least an hour for it to firm up. Then let the dough rest outside of the fridge for 10 minutes before I started cutting into it. Because I couldn't find my hexagon-shaped cookie cutter, I actually did a DIY. I cut out a hexagon shape on a piece of parchment paper and traced it on my cookie dough. I was very careful when I cut into it. And I also made sure I took the cookie dough out around the cutting. This way, my cookie cutting can actually stay better shape, stay better intact. Then whatever that was left from the scraps, I balled it together and flattened it out again and continued making more cookies. Whilst my cookies were baking in the oven, in a stand mixer bowl, I have some Confectioner sugar. To it, I added some vanilla extract and some non-dairy milk and started mixing that together. I found the consistency to be a little bit thick, so I added a little bit more non-dairy milk until the consistency was perfect. Then I split a small amount of it into a small bowl and added black color to it. in another bowl, I have just white. To that, I added small dollops of the black icing and put my cookie inside and twist and twirled it like you can see here to get a marble pattern. After I dip my cookie, I use a toothpick to actually scrape off anything on the side that's dripping off, any of the excess. Then between dipping each cookie, I would add a little bit more black into the original white bowl mixture. This way, because I wanted to make sure some of the black actually showed up. I also wanted to make some pink icing, so in a separate bowl I added a little bit of red food dye to my white icing, mixed that together and put that into a piping bag with a very small round tip nozzle. When I was ready, I cut off the tip and I decorated my cookie. I put a border around on the edges of the cookie, and then I flooded the middle. After that, I used a toothpick to spread it around evenly and tapped it on the plate a couple of times before I started on the next cookie. After drying for an hour, I used a cookie stamp to stamp my cookies. Then I have some lemon juice in a little bowl. To that, I added some gold luster and mixed it together, and I wanted to paint some gold into my stamped words. I also added some gold to the marble to enhance the effect. I like painting with the grain in the direction of the grain, so I continued doing that until I was satisfied. For the pink cookies, for one of them, I wanted to add a gold border, and then for the bigger one, I wanted to add some gold polka dots. Making these cookies are actually really good fun because you can be as creative as you want. There are so many designs you can make with this. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you liked this video. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. Bye-bye.